Good morning, everybody. I hope you find this morning is, well, actually, it's kind of hazy here. But I hope you're finding it to be a good day for you. It's kind of what we're going to talk about today. Let me say hello to everybody first. Glad everybody could make it here. Good morning, Carol and Chase and Cavell and Barbara Ward. Good to see you. And Christina, good morning from around the world. Always an added benefit for everyone who shows up here. Yes. So let's do our opening mantra. All right. I am the soul. I am the light divine. I am love. I am will. I am fixed design. And just breathe that down and to let every cell be touched with that light deep inside you, transforming. Very good. And we'll know that Master DK comes in for all of you to help you on your journey. Here's, I happen to have one of the first books of his you might want to get is The Discipleship to the New Age, Volume 1. And he writes letters to you, certainly in another time, but you take it as if it's to you, and begins to give you the work to do, the study, to become the true disciple. Yes, there is a volume 2, and takes a while to get through it. It's for the serious student. All right, Marby, good morning. Yes, so here we all are. So I contemplated this morning as we look at our world. I've had probably 3 phone calls this morning all about firecrackers going off in the family or in the world in some way, health issues. And a couple yesterday. So let's talk about, well, being spiritual people, what do we do with that? How do we choose to help? Or can we help? I guess would be the question. Well, we can do our prayers. And there's a certain order that I would first begin. Have the understanding, number one, that we can't change the will of anyone. If someone has a will that's strong and in their own ego and how they want it to be and what they're going to do, you can pray for all the light to come to them. But if they're not going to change, they're not going to change. And it'll be much easier if you can come to peace with that. Secondly, for that person that you believe wants change, wants healing, let's say for more of the dysfunctional family, you can begin to bring in the violet flame. So what's the violet flame? For those of you who don't know, it was brought in by Saint Germain in the 1930s to help us release karma. At that point, there weren't many people who had ascended and become ascended masters, because you had to, if you had karma, you had to find that person, and you and that person had to work it out to release you. So today we have a simple violet flame that we can continually burn in and around us so that it doesn't have to take so long. And I don't know if you all have been introduced to it, but how do you call in the violet flame is you call it in to 10 feet below you, 15 feet around you, and 18 feet above you, and see it as a blaze of violet that is 10 feet wide. What this does is anyone that walks into your energy field is being cleared of any karmic or negative energy. Anything that needs to be transformed is. So I have about 6, 7 situations that I'm violet flaming, my husband's violet flaming, and holding a truth of peace and harmony. And that's one thing you can all do for someone that you love who's maybe not even realizing just what you can introduce into your prayers. And know that the violet flame will just shatter karma. It will just disconnect it. You want to use the violet flame also if you find a lot of cords. In these situations in family, there's a lot of cording happening, meaning that whoever starts the argument and whoever ends the argument are now corded so that it will continue that energy and that feeling almost like they'll never forget it. But if you bring in the violet flame and let it blaze through it, you can begin to find harmony and have a different vision, almost as if from the higher consciousness. So, violet flame. So, for here in our community, for those who are close to you, what I'd like to do is let's offer that we offer it out to all of our families. Certainly mine could use it, and perhaps there's some of you who could use it for your family. That will ask for the violet flame from going down to 10 feet below us, 15 feet around us, 18 feet above us, to shatter and consume, shatter and consume, shatter and consume all cause, core, and effect, bringing forth the peace of God within every person's heart, within the families of all of this community. And then you can see their home in every room. Bring it up around and through the walls and outside a perimeter. That the violet flame is just cleansing and purifying whatever it might be that is drawing this antagonistic energy to everybody. Very good. Can you feel a difference? I feel a clarity. So you'll have to continue to work with it until you can feel it move for you, because it is very real. Next. I would begin to contemplate and send an energy to the grouping, the people involved, about forgiveness. Forgiveness is an action we must take within ourselves, because you must remember God has already forgiven all of you. He doesn't hold that energy against you, but you do hold it against yourself. And people and families keep it in a separation where some people never talk to each other again. It's very sad, very, very sad. So what you do is you say, oh, I'm so sorry. I forgive you. I love you. Now those are words, even if you're forgiving yourself for in your moment being upset or thinking negative thoughts, something that you can possibly use every day. The Ho'oponopono comes from a doctor was sent to one of the islands, and there were 500 people in the hospital that he was going to help. And he sat and went through everyone's file, and as he looked over what was happening, he went through this prayer, knowing that it was within him. I'm sorry. I forgive. I love you. And what they found when he finally finished those files and went to start working with people, they'd all been released because they had all been healed. So if there's places inside you that you aren't aware that you need to forgive, start saying the prayer and it may come to you. Because how we hold ourselves in our allowing our vulnerability, excuse me. See, I've already been talking so much all morning. Needs to be cleared. It needs to be opened up and allow you to embrace all of who you are, not just the parts of you that you know are light and good and wonderful. You have to reach deep into those parts of you who are still holding on to an old thing, maybe from when you were 3 or 5 or whenever it is. And because it spawns guilt. And guilt doesn't do nice things to your organs and places in your body, and it tries to remind you. So these are 11:11, looking at the self. Very powerful things to do in some form through your week so that you can begin to recognize how innocent you are. You know, we wouldn't be chosen if there wasn't innocence. And that's the thing you must remember. While, Amazing Grace in that sense, how they were blind and now they can see. You must remember that perhaps there's a time when you could not see the truth, but when you do the work, you will see what is the truth. And it's been a very powerful journey to get to where you are. And what that does is bring you into an innocence. Now, it would be very interesting if I could know what that brings to everyone's heart when I mention that word, innocence. Does anybody want to share? Those who hold their innocence and live it sit at the feet of God. Just know. And they are offered it through kindness. So it's very powerful feeling to have and to live it. For the judgment and the criticism in the world needs those of you who understand this. We must forgive. We must forgive. For whatever reason, perhaps they weren't taught. They don't understand from whoever was their teachers when they were young, whether it's parents or schools people, that now it's never too late to have someone have the opportunity to understand they can forgive themselves. And they can love who that is in a new way and let that love grow and self-acceptance begin to exist. So let me know, is anyone having a lot of fires to put out in their family or getting that phone call? Well, I'm going to ask you all to pray and offer the violet flame to my family, all the way from my ex-husband through the kids and everybody. Because something was triggered, and it's like one after another after another. And what do you need when all that happens? You need love. You need forgiveness. You need someone to hold an energy for you to be able to be vulnerable, to see what actually is all about. Because it's the stubbornness and the resistance to not want to know that keeps us stuck if you're the one holding something. And that's not any way beneficial for everybody, because the other family members that live there with you are having to experience that. Okay? So anybody want to talk to me today? Hello? Let my voice have a little bit of a rest. It kind of reminds you how precious life is. Yes, we go to bed, we wake up the next day, and we have a routine, and we go through it. And it isn't until something comes. Thank you, Chase. I really appreciate it. I send prayers back to your family, even if they're not in the uproar mine is. I totally appreciate it. Thank you so much. Let's see, I got lost. Precious. But what we tend to forget is our connection with God and that we are His daughter or son. And we have agreed on some level to become a vessel for His light. So the world can begin to know there's more than the back and forth and whatever you want to call it. You know, the world is changing and more they're talking about what they're finding from long, long time ago. People who lived and apparently looked like they were very mentally alert. Thank you for your love and prayers to my family, Cavell. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Yeah. The boys, my grandsons had first day of school yesterday. Chance, my blood grandson, started 7th grade, you know, where you start to go to every room. And who knows what all happened. And the little guy, well, it was a mess. Okay. I guess you think I said that wrong. Is that what it is, Barbara? But that's okay. Thank you. You're using this. The I am. Very good. But it works. So, yeah, no matter how old we are, sometimes that child within us comes up and acts out. And just wanting to help the world, you can feel the pain of it. Not just my family. There's families all over the world that are feeling that pain. Those who don't have homes from the floods or from the heat or no water or eventually no food. A lot of what our work is going to become is going to be sending light to people and letting them know they're not alone and that someone loves them. Someone cares. Cavell's telling you thank you, Barbara. And I think today is a good day to bring us all back to the awareness that however wonderful life is today, have we really achieved that blessed day? Because what would be included in that blessed day is time you take to bless everyone with your light, with that experience of what God is that's come into you. And to know that there's nothing that can separate that. You know, and that brings you into your relationship with God, which everyone's here would be different. And to really sit with that and feel that. What is it for you? What does that feel like? How does it work through you? Has it yet? One of the most powerful experiences for me is when God moves through me. And I can remember in church, I used to just go up to the place up front, and I would just shiver and cry. I had no idea who and what was moving through me. You know, it isn't until there's an awakening. And you begin to hear or maybe see, and then you know that fulfillment is starting to come to you. So does anyone ever find themselves in that situation of being asked to help people? My daughter has a simple way of handling it. It's not my problem. So I said to her today, it's only your problem until it's yours. It's only not your problem until it does become yours. She just had to figure that one out. Thank you for the love to my family. I appreciate it. The violet flame is something you can send without their permission. You can always send it through your I Am Presence if you have a question about that, and give permission to the I Am Presence to take it down to their awareness. But because it's not going to change the will of the person, it's going to support them in being clearer. Oh, okay. Wow. Thank you, Barbara. The violet flame isn't a part of the will factor. It's more an intention of, that's what it is to heal the karma. It's to heal the distortion that people hold that's an illusion. So it isn't about making anything a willful part. It's about supporting people to let go of that which isn't theirs. So in doing that, you're not affecting the will factor. How would the will factor look? If someone wanted to become a shoemaker and you felt that doing the violet flame would make them become something else. Do you see, it's not even the intent of it. The intent of the violet flame is for clear. Shatter and consume, all cause, core, and effect of anything that's not the truth of that person, or the truth of that room, the truth of that family. So I hope that makes it clear for you, Christina. You can let me know. Thank you, Barbara. I told my the grandchildren's mother, I'm going to get a lot of love sent to you tomorrow. She was all besides herself. And again, let's all send it to everybody. I'm going to send the love I hold to all of you where you might not even know you need it, and let it touch and bring smiles to people's faces when they don't even know why. That's what we need. We need a compassionate heart. Remember our words from yesterday, our kindness and loving heart. I was able to, in my perception, do the kindness and loving thing yesterday, and I felt so wonderful about it. So who yesterday got to experience that, being kind and loving to someone? Anybody? Well, certainly kind and loving today, sending to my family. That's true. You know, that light you sent to my family must have been awful powerful, Barbara. You know, maybe need to upgrade to your computer your light so it doesn't go wee. I have to do that every once in a while. Christina says thank you. Yeah, if anyone's having trouble even going to court, I have them do the violet flame, and you can do it in the judge's heart. So there's a neutral to where there's usually those other things that get involved, which aren't necessary. There is a lot going on in the world, and it's impacting many people. I know of a lot of friends whose families are in some type of conflict. This is exactly, Barbara, what I'm talking about. And what if today we could send out a blanket around the world of the violet flame? You know, I build the violet flame in my field every day. I hope you do also. Or you will now if you didn't know about it. Because as people move into it, they're different. Their energy shifts. Like when I got these phone calls, I didn't move into their energy. My energy changed them, and they got calm. And that's what we want to have happen. What would the world be like if people could find a calmness within themselves, a compassion, a listener versus anger and threat? I told her, I said, be loving, just be loving. Ignore it, ignore it, and be neutral. That's the response. Because anything else is like the tantrum of the child. And if you react, the tantrum gets bigger. So when you don't react and you just become the listener or no energy at all, they're going to be looking around to no one's paying attention to me. So you have to get to where not a big issue here. But what can we do about it? We can bring forth the violet flame. Now, my one grandson, we're having to do it quite often because he's getting fed from the other part of his family. It's very fascinating when you watch energy with people and how it tends to bring the effect not only in individuals' lives or families' lives, but in our world today. You know, you can hear the people when they're trying to feed people. Certain people are saying, oh, this is going to happen. Well, you don't have control of it. You don't know what's going to happen. And that's what we have to realize. We are in control of our own lives. We have choice and we have freedom. And that's the gift Saint Germain and his words are freedom, freedom, freedom. You must be free to choose how you choose to live life. And that's what the violet flame helps you manifest. It's going to discount the courting, the illusion, that which is no longer needed in your life to move forward. Any other questions? I'm thinking I might show you a picture. His name is Chance. That was my maiden name. Let me see here. He has long, wavy blonde hair. Does anyone else want to say anything before we go? He must be tucked away here. He's a soccer player. In this one you can't see his hair so long, but here he is. Chance. But now it's long down his back. I guess he's trying to be the thinker. Who knows? Kids, right? He's probably a few years younger there. Well, I hope I've given you something to contemplate today. Certainly not too many questions. See, and Christina, to go back to, anyone who wants can not accept your light that you send them. It's never a for sure thing. That's why sending it through your I am to their I am. Yes, thank you. He is an angel. His aura is all gold. And I pointed it out to him when we're on the internet. And he goes, well, what does that mean, Yaya? And I go, it means you're a very special little boy. You see him playing outside and you can just see the rays of light coming in him. So with someone like that and destruction happens, then it's really big. Yes, he does look like a philosopher in that picture. So I want to get back to you, Christine. When your I am sends it to the other I am of the other person and ask if they would show them that light is probably the most efficient way, if that makes sense to you. Yes. He wanted us to move back home. Let's go back because he lived with us for a couple years, him and his father. I want to live there again. I want to be in that place. Let's just all do it, Yaya. Why can't we do that? This has about been 2 months ago. I said, we can't go back and grab the past. I said, you're welcome to come down here. No. So you see, that's that free will. No. Kids are funny. Thank you. Well, perhaps. We have the same hair. I used to wear my hair all blonde and gold and wavy. But he loves playing soccer. Okay. So, good discussion for today. Any other questions? And I'm sure you all also have beautiful grandchildren. If you're not that old, you will have them. And it's different than a child. All right, you're welcome. And first thing the mother said to me, she says, well, he loves you in a different way. It's more special. I said, well, I'll take that, but he loves you too. But love of a grandparent is different because there's no barrier. There's nothing about behavior. Chance will tend to be more open to me. So you guess who's going to be put on a phone call to me today? Oh, yeah. So enough talking about me. But I don't worry about it because you say you like hearing about my life. So today I'm going to be grandmom later. And so now we have loving kindness this week. And now we have sending the violet flame out around the world. And maybe each of you will find and be touched by something a certain way, so send it the violet flame. This is going to help. The violet flame has been proven. There's no question about whether it works. It's work with it, and then you'll know it. That's all how things with God are. The work works. I heard that 1,000,000 times if I've heard it once. The part about it is that you need to do is you have to work with it and discover that yourselves. All right? So I hope you have a busy day, but an easy day that's filled with love and joy and radiating love and kindness to the world. and offering the violet flame. How about that? Many blessings. All my love to you. Thank you very much for all the love you're sending to the little guys. Bye-bye. Let me see if I saw everything. Thank you.